Hi Nina, we're just going to ask you a few questions for the Include Me project.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel that digital media affects your daily routines, your relationships, and your mental health?
But I suppose it's kind of like it's involved in every single aspect of my life. Like my phone is the first thing that I look at when I wake up in the morning. I use it for uni, I use it for work. So it's a huge part of my everyday life. Even when I'm socializing or speaking to people, say even texting my mummy or texting my friends, that's all based on social media. And as I say, like if I'm speaking to my friends, especially ones who maybe don't live so close to me, I'd be talking to them via social media. So that's how it would affect my relationships really.
Okay.
And my mental health. It has a lot of different, it's maybe like a way to relax almost. Sometimes there can be games, or maybe if you're just looking online, like even shopping online, I know that that helps my mental health. It's a way for me to relax.
Yeah.
um and yeah, I think it's for me personally, social media is a great thing and it's really useful in my everyday life.
Okay. So you find digital media to be quite a positive experience in your life. That's really good.
Yeah.
And do you feel that it gives you kind of looking more at digital media in terms of news outlets and things like that? Do you feel like it gives you reliable information about the community that you're in and also the wider world around you?
Yeah, well, I think there's definitely two different sides to digital media. There's definitely the factual sides where it can tell you things about in your area or things that are going on in the world that maybe you wouldn't necessarily like. Personally, I wouldn't watch the news every morning, so at
Hmm.
least if I'm getting notifications through on my phone about things that are happening, that's keeping me updated and it's keeping me understanding what's going on in the world around me. Although there is the other side where there's a lot of fake news and there could be a lot of opinions that could be exaggerated and things. So there's two very different sides, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's great. It is great, especially whenever they're able to, like news articles are able to almost, oh sorry,
Okay.
where news articles are almost able to tailor things to you. So like say you get a notification on your Google app, so it's all the notifications of Belfast, or whenever
Hmm.
I move home to Ballygolly, I'll get notifications of Ballygolly. So it is
Yes.
kind of cool how they're doing that. But as I say, there's also another side where there could be a lot of fake news. And yeah.
Yeah. And do you feel like you have good critical awareness of what is fake news? Do you feel like that's something that you've learned as you've been on social media for longer, that you're kind of aware now of just looking out for fake news, as you say?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, sometimes you see the odd thing where you're like, oh, is this actually happening? And then you realize it's not. So I think you still have to be very wary. But I think that I have kind of trained myself into like take everything with a pinch of salt if it does seem out of the ordinary. But typically, a lot of things I would kind of know like whether they're true or not. Or
Okay, that's great. So, lastly, then, how do you decide which digital media sources you would trust and which ones to use? So that kind of ties back into the fake news. Are there certain outlets that you don't engage with and things like that?
yeah, I think honestly, popularity is a big thing. I would typically use news outlets that I know that my family would use, my friends would use, or ones that I've been using myself over a number of different years.
Hmm.
So it's keeping to kind of that like traditional ones that I would be using. But if I was to look into a new one, I would definitely look at reviews and see like, kind of what kind of news they're posting,
Hmm.
and just kind of see if they are things that I potentially want to know, and if they do seem factual, and if they do seem liable as well, liable
Yeah.
resources. So obviously your references and also who could maybe be writing the articles or presenting the news. I think they're very important. But as I say, the ones that I would typically use are just down to tradition and just based on what my friends and family, what I have used over the like number of years.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for speaking to
No
us.
worries at all. Thank you.